In the world of boxing, few matchups generate as much excitement and debate as the potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. This hypothetical fight, pitting the versatile and undefeated Crawford against the seasoned, multi-division champion Canelo, has sparked intense discussions among fans, analysts, and boxing legends like Mike Tyson. The idea of Crawford, a welterweight and junior middleweight champion, moving up 3 weight classes to challenge Canelo at 168 pounds is both audacious and polarizing. Tyson, a former heavyweight icon, has offered a detailed breakdown of this matchup, initially expressing skepticism but later warming to the possibility of Crawford pulling off an upset. His analysis, combined with insights from other boxing figures like Shawn Porter and Tim Bradley, paints a complex picture of a fight that could redefine legacies. The conversation around this fight began gaining traction when Crawford, fresh off his victory over Israil Madrimov in August 2024, expressed interest in challenging Canelo. Crawford, known as Bud, is a 3-division undisputed champion with an impeccable 41-0 record, including 31 knockouts. His dominance at 147 pounds and his successful move to 154 pounds have cemented his status as one of the pound-for-pound best in the sport. However, the leap to 168 pounds to face Canelo, a 4-division champion with a record of February 2, 62, is a daunting proposition. Canelo, at 34, remains a formidable force, known for his devastating punching power, counterpunching ability, and relentless aggression. The size difference alone, Crawford typically walks around at 160 pounds, while Canelo rehydrates to well over 170 pounds on fight night, has led many to question the feasibility of this matchup. Mike Tyson, a vocal supporter of Crawford, initially voiced strong reservations about the fight during an appearance on the It Is What It Is podcast. He pointed to the significant weight disparity, noting that Crawford's close decision against Madrimov at 154 pounds highlighted the challenges of moving up in weight. "It's too much weight," Tyson said, emphasizing that Crawford's struggle against the awkward and powerful Madrimov suggested he might not fare well against a naturally larger opponent like Canelo. Tyson recalled how Crawford, despite winning, was tested in a way he hadn't been since 2016, with Madrimov's size and unorthodox style pushing him to the limit. For Tyson, the idea of Crawford jumping 2 more weight classes to face Canelo seemed like an unnecessary risk, especially given Crawford's already stellar resume. However, Tyson's perspective evolved as he delved deeper into the matchup. In an interview with Ring magazine, he provided a nuanced analysis, acknowledging the historical precedent for smaller fighters overcoming larger opponents. He cited Henry Armstrong, a featherweight who defeated welterweight and middleweight champions in the 1930s, as evidence that size isn't always the determining factor. "Size means nothing, but determination means everything," Tyson declared, suggesting that Crawford's skill set and mental toughness could make the fight competitive. This shift in Tyson's stance reflects his growing belief in Crawford's ability to adapt and capitalize on Canelo's vulnerabilities, particularly in a fight that could resemble Canelo's loss to Dimitri Bivol more than his one-sided defeat to Floyd Mayweather. Tyson's breakdown of the fighter's strengths and weaknesses offers valuable insight into why this matchup is so intriguing. He began with Canelo, whose success is rooted in a combination of technical brilliance and physical dominance. Canelo possesses exceptional boxing skills, including powerful punches to both the head and body, sharp counterpunching, and effective head movement. His training regimen is meticulous, tailored to each opponent through carefully selected sparring partners who mimic their styles. Long-distance running builds his endurance, while boxing-specific drills refine his technique. This preparation has allowed Canelo to adapt to various fighting styles and weight classes, earning him world titles from 154 to 175 pounds. His mental toughness is another key asset, as he has shown resilience in the face of setbacks, such as his losses to Mayweather and Bivol, using them as opportunities for growth. Despite these strengths, Tyson pointed out several weaknesses that Crawford could exploit. Canelo's stamina has been a concern in fights that go the distance, as seen in his rematch with Gennady Golovkin and his loss to Bivol. When fatigued, his punches lose precision and power, leaving him vulnerable to opponents who can weather his early onslaughts. Additionally, Canelo's defensive skills can be inconsistent, with lapses in concentration or overly aggressive movements exposing him to counters. Tyson noted that Canelo struggles against fighters with superior footwork and movement, such as Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant, who used angles to frustrate him. His flat-footed style, while effective against stationary opponents, can be a liability against elusive boxers like Crawford, who excel at creating angles and landing precise shots. Turning to Crawford, Tyson praised his unmatched versatility and ring intelligence. Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances allows him to confuse opponents and exploit their weaknesses. His lightning-fast hand speed and footwork enable him to land quick combinations and evade punches with ease. Crawford's ring generalship is another major strength, as he controls the pace and distance of fights through his jab, movement, and spatial awareness. His adaptability is evident in his ability to adjust strategies mid-fight, whether facing pressure fighters like Shawn Porter or boxer-punchers like Errol Spence Jr., whom he dismantled in a dominant performance in 2023. Crawford's dedication to his craft, including intense sparring and conditioning, ensures he remains at the peak of his abilities at 37 years old. However, Tyson was careful not to overlook Crawford's weaknesses. He noted that Crawford can struggle when forced to fight on the back foot against aggressive opponents who apply relentless pressure. This was evident in bouts against Kell Brook and Egidijus Kavaliauskas, where he faced moments of vulnerability under heavy attacks. Additionally, Crawford's high guard leaves him susceptible to body shots, as seen in his fight against Madrimov, where the larger opponent targeted his midsection. While these shots didn't significantly impact Crawford's performance, they highlight a potential vulnerability against a body-punching specialist like Canelo, who could wear him down over 12 rounds. Shawn Porter, who faced Crawford in 2021 and was stopped in the 10th round, offered his own perspective on the matchup. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Porter expressed concern about Crawford's ability to absorb Canelo's punches, particularly over the course of a grueling fight. He suggested that Canelo would likely start fast, aiming to overwhelm Crawford with power shots early to break him down before his stamina wanes. However, Porter also acknowledged Canelo's decline, noting that the Mexican star, now in his mid-30s, is not the same fighter he was 3 or 4 years ago. Porter believes Crawford's speed, athleticism, and boxing IQ could make the fight competitive, emphasizing that boxing is about more than just strength. "You have to get your mind out of the space of who's stronger," Porter said, listing Crawford's advantages in intelligence, stamina, and experience. Tim Bradley, another former champion, echoed Porter's confidence in Crawford's abilities. He argued that Crawford's elusive style, reminiscent of fighters who have troubled Canelo in the past, could pose significant problems. Bradley pointed to Canelo's recent fight against William Skull, where the Mexican struggled to land clean shots against a mobile opponent. Crawford, with his superior footwork and jab, could similarly frustrate Canelo, making it difficult for him to close the distance. Bradley also highlighted Crawford's performance against Madrimov, where he felt stronger and more powerful despite moving up to 154 pounds, suggesting that the weight difference might not be as prohibitive as some believe. The fight, scheduled for September 12, 2025, in Las Vegas, is being billed as a clash for legacy. Canelo, as the face of boxing, represents the ultimate challenge for Crawford, who has little left to prove after unifying titles in 3 divisions. For Crawford, defeating Canelo would silence critics who have downplayed his accomplishments and cement his place among the all-time greats. He dismissed accusations of chasing a payday, pointing to his financial discipline and lack of extravagant spending. "I've been getting money for years," Crawford said, emphasizing that the fight is about legacy, not cash. A victory over Canelo, he argued, would leave detractors with nothing to say. On the other hand, Canelo has his own motivations. A win over Crawford would further solidify his status as one of the greatest fighters of his era, adding another high-profile name to his resume. However, at 34, questions linger about his ability to maintain his dominance against a younger, hungrier opponent like Crawford. His recent performances, while still impressive, have shown signs of wear, with slower starts and occasional lapses in focus. The Bivol loss, in particular, exposed vulnerabilities that Crawford, with his precision and adaptability, is well equipped to exploit. The betting odds favor Canelo, largely due to the size difference and his experience at 168 pounds. Yet, the fight is far from a foregone conclusion. Crawford's technical mastery and ability to outthink opponents make him a live underdog, capable of pulling off what would be one of the most significant upsets in modern boxing. Tyson, despite his initial doubts, now seems to believe in Crawford's potential, joining the chorus of supporters who see him as part of an elite group of undefeated stars, alongside Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. At a recent event in New York, Tyson enthusiastically backed Crawford's claim to greatness, shouting, "We the best boxers in the town." As the fight approaches, the boxing world is abuzz with anticipation. Will Crawford's speed and versatility overcome Canelo's power and experience? Or will the size disparity prove too much, as Tyson initially feared? The answers will unfold in the ring, where legacies are forged and doubts are silenced. For now, the debate rages on, with fans and experts alike eager to see if Crawford can defy the odds and make history on September 12, 2025.